Hello and welcome to mprugs.com. My name is Mike Pana. I'm the owner of the website and the business. And in this video, I want to talk to you all about these gorgeous pure silk Qom hunting rugs that my clients truly enjoy and that are probably amongst the best known pictorial Persian rugs. The handmade Qom Persian rugs tend to be made of pure silk, and the vast majority of them are purchased by clients around the world who then hang them on the walls. And this right here is actually one of the larger pieces. They tend to be small ones, like the one I hold in my hand right here. This is a 60 centimeter by 90 centimeter. This is roughly 2 feet by 3 feet for my American clients. And sometimes you can get them up to approximately 8 foot by 11, 2.5 by 3.5 meters. But these are extremely rare. The vast majority of the pictorial pure silk Qom rugs, they tend to be small because the weavers know that the clients are most likely, the buyers want to hang them on walls, sometimes even have them framed. So what I like to do is, just like I've done in my other informational videos, I'm going to share with you a few thoughts on the pictorial, give you a little idea about the history and the details. So as I've done in the past, I'm going to swing behind the camera so I can zoom in and out. I like to do the recording and everything myself. So I'm going to see you again in a minute with several examples of the Qom hunting rugs, and then I can explain to you in detail about what makes these truly remarkable pieces. We'll talk about the signatures that you typically find in most of the pieces, and also give you a little idea about background as far as the history of the designs and everything. So I'm going to see you again here in just a minute, as soon as I get behind the camera. Here I am again. This time I got behind the camera here. So what you're seeing right here, this is a classic example of what a Persian pure silk genuine Qom hunting rug is all about. You typically have a hunting scene. This would be in the old days, the ancient imperial court, basically the royalty, going on hunting expeditions. And so this is why you notice the riders are all dressed up. They're not dressed up in battle gear. This is more like ceremonial attire. This is what, you can see that nowadays still. I'll use an example. I think it's when the Queen of England and the family decides to go hunting, they all decide to wear their fancy hunting outfits and everything, and you kind of see the same thing here. This is very classic. This is basically what the Qom pure silk hunting rugs are known for. And as if you see this video on one of my rug pages, there is a link next to it also to the informative pages. And on my informative page about the Qom hunting rugs, I, for example, mentioned about how in the design, and this is something that evolved, I guess, over the decades and centuries, you will notice that there is a hunting scene. Some of them are a bit bloodier than others. In this particular piece, I don't see any animals that have actually been killed, at least none that I can see. I see the horsemen and actually also what appears to be women. You got a man here, but I could swear to God, judging by her look, that's a woman. Up there is also a woman, and this is actually something that you will see. Here you have another female rider looking back, and this is actually something that some of my clients have commented on the Persian Qom hunting rugs. It is actually common to see male and female riders. That is something you typically do not find on some of the Turkish, Chinese, and Indian silk rugs. On the Qom rugs, you do have that gender equality. I don't know if that's, I think it's kind of funny to see because in the old days, generally speaking, women were not part of the hunting scene. But I think it's kind of cool that, I don't know if the weavers realized what they were doing or not, but I think this is just amazing. So you have the hunting scene in the middle. And what I did here is, besides this one piece right here, I also have a slightly smaller piece. This is 1 meter by 1.5. So it's roughly 3 foot by 5 foot. And then I have that smaller one that I showed you earlier. And you will notice they all have the same theme. You have the hunting scene in the middle. This is the hunt. But on the outside, on the borders, as I talk about in my informative page, you typically have in the borders animals and plants, and oftentimes, depending on how much room you have animals eating plants, basically feeding, or in the case of the small Qom hunting rug right here, you can see the deer, what appears to be drinking. This is very typical. Hunting scene, you have a hunting rug, you have the hunting scene in the center, but around it, the border, this is where you have the animals and the plants in a peaceful state. And this is very, very classic for the Qom hunting rugs. Now, another thing I want to point out to you, and this is also something that I point out in the videos about all of the Qom rugs and everything, and that is that the hunting rugs typically are also signed by the weavers. There is one signature, there is a second, and yeah, you have one that's also up there on that large piece right there. Just because a Qom rug is signed, it does not mean that the price tag should be based upon signature. In other words, in the Qom rugs, in the Qom carpets, on the pure silk, the genuine pieces, you are paying for the rug. Now, there are some master weavers who will charge, where you have to pay extra. I mean, in the case of the Qom rugs, for example, there are the Jamshidi family. I mean, these are like the Picassos of Persian rugs. And yes, you are going to be paying out of your nose. But I always tell my clients, when you buy one of these rugs, you are not paying for the signatures. You are paying for the rug. So, for example, if you look at all of my Qom rugs, unless I specifically tell you why, you go under the assumption that this is simply a master weaver and you are paying for the quality of the rug, not for the signature. And that is something that's very important. Unfortunately, a lot of rug retailers, they make a big deal about the fact that a Qom rug is signed. Well, 99% of them are signed. In fact, I don't know of any of them that are not signed. Well, no, I do take it back. I do have a few that are not signed, but it's a rarity. It's supposed to be the other way around. But I always tell my clients, when you buy a rug, don't worry about the signatures. I'm not one of those people that's going to tell you that the rug is worth more unless it really is something special. Another thing I want to talk about is the knots per square inch. If you are looking at buying a pure silk Qom rug, please, there is an informational page that you can also see with all of my Qom rugs where I talk about how you can measure the KPSI and to measure the quality of the Qom rugs, because they do fluctuate and you do pay. I'm just going to use this as an example right here. This is a 5 foot by 7 foot. This Qom rug right here, which is roughly 1.5 by 2 meters, it could be a $6,000 piece. It could also be a $12,000 piece, depending on quality workmanship. So rather than taking my time here and describing something that I've already described in other videos, I just want you to know these are gorgeous rugs. My clients typically hang them on walls. And if you go into rug stores, and in our case we have the warehouse here, and you're wondering, there is nothing fancy. You can see the rug being held up by 3. Where's my finger? There it is. There is 1, 2, 3. We put clamps on them. They're not designed to poke into the rug, but they put a lot of pressure on them to basically hold the rug in place. And that's how we hang them up, and we can easily take them down. And there's no problems. I actually will tell my clients, if you're going to be hanging a rug on the wall, use very small nails. You can do that. It's okay. What I always tell my clients, it's hanging up a rug on the wall is actually pretty easy. The main thing is you just have to make sure that you put nails about every 2 feet apart. So in this case, I would be putting about 4 nails at the top. I would put 4 nails along the bottom, but I would also put a few nails, 3 or 4 of them, along the sides, so that if there is a breeze, if you open up a window, you don't have this type of effect. You want the rug firmly up against the wall. And most of my clients, once they hang up a rug, it's not like they're going to be taking it down anyways. So I just wanted you to see this video. I wanted to explain to you a little bit about the history and why the design is what it is. Also, we talked about the signature. There is also horizontal hunting rugs, but they're not as common. They're actually very hard to get. And when I do get them, they are typically the first ones to sell. So again, that is about as much as I want to tell you right now. If you have any specific questions, as always, feel free to let me know by email or leave me any suggestions. If you have any comments in the YouTube video sections, my YouTube channel. And again, I'm just... One last thing that I forgot to mention, one of the questions that I oftentimes get from my clients has to do with the value of the Qom rugs and whether pictorial pieces like the hunting rugs are worth more than the traditional Persian rugs. So if you're looking at a Qom rug, and if somebody is trying to tell you that a pictorial piece is worth more than a classic, that is a lie. That is absolute bogus. You are paying for the quality, you're paying for the workmanship, you're paying for the size and the material. But I have not yet heard of a single case where a rug is worth more due to its design. So the pictorial rugs are obviously, especially if you hang them up or have them framed, they're gorgeous rugs. Some of the rugs are just absolutely phenomenal, but it doesn't mean that they are going to be higher priced than same quality rugs in the same size with a different design. So just because it's a hunting rug doesn't make it any more expensive. You are paying for the rug, not the design. So I hope this video is of help to you. As always, feel free to let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to hearing from you. Take care and best wishes. Bye-bye.